afternoon, one and all. Franchise India welcomes you to our webinar series. Franchise India is Asia's largest integrated franchise solution company. We are among top 10 management consulting companies in India. Our consultants work very closely with brands and investors, and we deliver basic on three platforms: knowledge platform, marketing platform, and transactional platform. We are completely focused on franchise ecosystem, and we proudly say no one sells more business than us. We welcome each one of you to our 166th edition of Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series, an initiative which we took almost 7 back, and our aim is to represent the brand for the day. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Mr. Gaurav Maria, along with our second panel member, Ms. Sonia Chaudhary. The flow of the webinar will be, we'll welcome and invite brand to present their business opportunity in front of each one of you. Then we'll move ahead for question and answer session and obviously the closures from our panel members. We are delighted to present the retail opportunity from the House of Dabur India Limited. New You is the brand we are representing today. It's a subsidiary of Dabur India Private Limited and is operational in health and beauty segment. It is a one-stop beauty destination for all of you. It gives extensive line of makeup products, skincare products, health hair care products, personal grooming products, and they also provide wide range of Dabur products. They hold very strong presence in retail market with 100 plus successfully running operational stores while covering 40 plus cities pan-India. And we welcome and invite Mr. Manish Asthana, who is Business Head Dabur New You, Mr. Meg Singh, Head Buying and Merchandising, Mr. Jay Yadav, Country Manager Franchising and BD, and Mr. Alok Seth, Head Legal. Thank you so much, entire team of New coming today and presenting your business model with each and every attendees who have joined us today. So over to you, Manish, for your formal presentation.
Thank you, Archana. Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to everyone. I would quickly share our screen with all of you. Just if you could confirm if it's visible now.
It's visible, Manish.
Yes.
Okay, great. So talking about New You, of course, it comes from the House of Dabur, and we are very happy and pleased to inform that it is among the top rated companies in India in FMCG world. And New You was an initiative which was taken around 12, 13 years back by Dabur. And till now we were focusing on COCO model, that is company owned, company operated stores. And the idea behind was to first taste the success of the model and then go to the franchise network where we could probably expand at much faster pace and partner with a lot of franchisees. So to begin, what is New You? I think a small clip we will start with. This is how New You India is panned out in India. So we are now in more than 40 cities and in the country. We are the only pan-India chain which is present across the length and width of the country. So right from Jammu to Pondi in the south and from Gujarat to Assam, everywhere we have stores now. And this is the new look and feel. We started changing and upgrading our look and feel a couple of years back. So rather from 2019 beginning. So if you see, these are few clips as to how the store looks now. So you would see very compact, very well-defined category signages which mention each and every category, easier for customers to engage. So that is what was how that store looks. Like I mentioned, New You is a 100% subsidiary of Dabur. We have over 100 plus stores operational across 40 cities in the country. And like Archana mentioned, we are a one-stop shop for all beauty, skincare, and hair care, grooming, hygiene, and fragrance, home care, health, and wellness. And we range more than 4,500 assorted products from all leading international and domestic brands. So the product categories widely are makeup, health and wellness, skincare, fragrances, grooming. There's a huge assortment, and since we tie up with the companies directly, so you can look at the brands which are associated with NewU. From the house of L'Oreal, we have Maybelline, L'Oreal, then there's Makeup Revolution from US. We have Avene, Chambord, Lakme from Unilever, Faces, LA Girl, Color Bar, OGX, Skin, Olay. So there's a huge assortment where we have the entire top brands in beauty cosmetic brand, and anybody who's entering India or is aspiring to launch their brand, NewU is the best destination they look forward to associate with NewU. So anything which is going to come to the country is definitely going to come to NewU. So we are here on the webinar today, thanks to Gaurav and Sonia and Franchise India for giving us this opportunity to explore new franchise options. All of you who are interested in investing or want to be entrepreneur, and if you feel fits your requirement, then let's explore that going forward. So that's how NewU looks now. It's backed by, like I mentioned, the big giant FMCG company, Dabur India. So Dabur India, was established in 1884. It's 136-year-old, has a lot of trust and heritage. It's among the top 4 FMCG companies in India and probably the biggest among the Indian companies, and one of the largest distribution network in India, covering 6.7 million outlets, 20 world-class manufacturing facilities, and a strong overseas presence with the contribution of over 27%. So market cap for Dabur is $12 billion. So that's some heritage to be associated with, and that actually build more pressure for NewU to make sure that each and every franchisee who gets associated with a company makes money and carries on the legacy of Dabur and the brand imagery. So Dabur is currently the fastest post-COVID, is the fastest growing FMCG company today. If you see, Dabur grew beyond a point by 16.8% in volume, whereas compared to any other FMCG company during post-COVID times. So these are the latest results, if you see, and compared to any other competitive FMCG companies, they were far ahead in both volume growth, even on the PAT level and EBITDA. Coming back to NewU, why NewU actually? So like I mentioned, legacy of Dabur and huge motivation from the company to make the franchisee successful. So we would do everything to ensure that the franchisee relationship is fruitful. It's a very low risk franchise offer. When you will discuss in details, you will realize that we are taking care of all the risk factors and try to mitigate through our relationship how and where we can support. Health and wellness and beauty is the fastest growing category, both nationally and internationally. We'll share few figures going forward. All major Indian and international brands in cosmetics, skincare, hair care, fragrances are associated today with NewU. The biggest benefit is the genuinity. 100% authentic products come to NewU, reason being our association with the brand. And this is the biggest scare in this category today. Even if you go online, you're never sure what you're buying is a genuine product. Or even if you go to offline, there are a lot of fakes available for the brands at the store. So the customers over a period of time, why we have kept on building such a huge loyalty is because they are ensured that they will get genuine products. The profile of the customer is both affluent and educated, and that's therefore there's a great opportunity for any member in the family to get to run this venture. There are a lot of females who are educated and they're not actively into a profession, they're housewives and they would want to take up some business, their New would be a right fit actually. The assortment planning is by a huge team of experts literally in our industry, because they're from different companies. They have a lot of experience and they have over 5-6 years of experience in assortment planning of over 400, 500, 5,000 SKUs. So we have huge marketing support, their schemes, promotion. This is one of the biggest USP which lies with New. If you see, you would probably come across a lot of small time stores who sell beauty products, and they generally sell most of these brands somewhere or the other. So, but they will never carry the depth and the width what we carry. On top of it, the promotions we run. So if we were to talk about, there have been multiple promotions running at stores which are so lucrative. They're buy one, get one free, buy two, get one free, 30% off, 50% off. So there's a continuous promotion which create excitement for the buyers in our stores. So the brand promoters is something which some of the brands they provide. This is basis a lot of geographies where they are capable, and locations in the business, and obviously little bit of how the business is doing. This support is very good from the brand, because these brand associates, they're professionals and they have a lot of knowledge about the brand. So they help in selling when it comes to the customer. There's a huge support of loyalty program. We have over 1.8 million consumer base, which is associated with the loyal consumer base. Their loyalty points, which they come regularly to buy, and they can earn and burn at the store level. We have in today's time, it's I think need of the hour to get the latest IT setup, and we have a state of art POS system. We are even now exploring getting associated with some tech firms where it's already at a later stage, I must say, where these franchise stores and the company stores would be visible to nearby areas, and they will be able to handle home deliveries easily, because they will be visible when they do Google search for products. Their stores would come up, their assortments will be visible. They can buy, pay by WhatsApp, Google Pay, or whatever, and you will have a ability to accept the order, or even if you don't want to accept the order, that is your prerogative, and then you can supply. So it opens up huge offline online kind of an integration and an engagement for you, for the franchisees. So like I mentioned, why this industry? Now, this is one of the industries which is the fastest growing industries currently. So Indian cosmetic market, like these are all economic time articles and projections, and they have actually lived up to their year-on-year projections. So by 25% to 20 billion by 2025, it's already 10 billion market currently. So you can imagine what is the growth rate currently. So if you look at the stats, how it is growing, and people are getting more and more exposure with OTT and other platforms, and a lot of social media, this category is getting a lot of traction. So new franchise requirements, a very brief right now, maybe the interactions later on, we can explain much more in depth as and when people would want to know. But we look at a retail space of 250 odd to 500 odd square feet. Lower is something I would keep at 250, but larger, we have company stores to the tune of 1,000, 1,100 square feet also. It's a very low risk franchise offer, because like I mentioned, we take a lot of care when it comes to risk of the franchisee, because in this category, which is the biggest risk one would carry, is dead stocks and expiry. We exchange all these products for the fast moving products, for newer products. So across all brands, we give this ability for them to keep exchanging what is not selling in their store. So, of course, a great opportunity to get associated with the Dabur family. The investment is around from 25 to lakhs to 40 lakhs actually, depending on the size of the store and what would be the fill. Quickly, if I was to take you through the franchise terms, there's a franchisee fee which is around 2 lakhs, but this fee is actually nothing compared to this kind of support which goes initially on in terms of loyalty program, regular signage, promotions, all. So you will come to know that a lot of investment company continues to do from time to time. Franchisee shall get 20% of net margin. This is actually high throughput, low margin kind of category, which probably might sound lower compared to some of the categories where they're 30-35% of margins. But trust me, how it goes is basis the turnover. This is a high turnover category and high move turnaround of inventory. So ROIs are a little different, but worthwhile actually. Franchisee can get the civil work done on their own. This is one thing we feel that a lot of people feel that when company supplies a civil contractor and all, there's a huge margins there and the work could have been done much more cheaper. So what we do is we get the architect to prepare drawings and everything, but we give the freedom to the franchisee to get this civil work done as per the drawings, which we obviously evaluate at a stage. The fixture, which is the main component where people end up spending more if they want to do more on their own, but they end up actually burning their money because if they're not the right fit or the capacity, it will go waste. So this is where we have a regular vendor who knows exactly what is the requirement and does it. So we have the fixture company where they could procure the fixtures directly, and franchisees on the merchandise part, we will only buy products from New. Like we said, we are associated with all the companies directly, and we do not allow anybody to buy any merchandise from outside. Initial stocks is an approximate value of 20 lakhs for a 300 square feet of carpet area. There's an EDC machine which is provided in case people do not want to take the expense on themselves, but in case they want to continue with their own EDC machine, that is also fine with us. The balance payment is made on the franchisee on weekly basis. Whatever they sell is what they would, because how our replenishment happens is an ARS system, which is, like I said, it's a state-of-art POS machine. It is integrated with our backend inventory. And whatever you sell immediately gets updated and a PO is created in the system for the warehouse to take those goods, whatever is sold, and they send as a replenishment to the franchisee. Franchisee stores are generally covered with CCTV camera where the franchisee owner and the company has the access. And internal signages and all the VM of these stores are continuously provided by New, which seems like one-time expense. Actually, it is not. We continuously provide promotions month on month. Every month there are new set of promotions, there are new signages which are supported by the company, and all this expense is borne by the company. So that's a brief about the company and how we operate. We welcome any queries, questions regarding the same, any details you would like to know in regard to anything. We're more than happy to address it.
Thank you, Manishi. It was a very detailed presentation, and you're right. Absolutely, you're not only a FMCG market leader and a high growth company, but Dabur is a household name in India for hundreds of years. And this is also a specialty retail leadership, because this is a category which you really created, and today we are the only company which could retail products in health, wellness, home care, skin care, hair care, grooming, fragrance, and other categories. So it becomes a multi-brand store, and there is no other format. India is one of the lowest penetrated market as far as what I call the cosmetic and fragrances are concerned. As the markets would evolve, the people would like to take a lot of global brands to come in. And because of your distribution being ready, you will become a preferred vendor for all these pieces. Another area which is to advantage is that you are a mid-segment player, which is the largest growing segment in the country. A lot of other players, international and luxury players or travel retail players, are essentially focused on a luxury, which is a very small category, while it is also growing in India, but
Right.
a mid-market brand segment of brands, which is, I think, one of the largest play, which also is great because then you can take it to not from currently from 40 to 50 cities to maybe 300 cities as an opportunity, because there is an audience and a demand for it. And now I think with the technology integrated, it will become a hyper local play also, which
Right.
means that people come and buy from the shop and also buy online, and they can be delivered product. So I would grade this opportunity on 4 very strong pillars. One, the trusted brand name, which is Dabur. I think is a very, very strong foundational company and very respected organization from a consumer viewpoint. There are a lot of companies which are respected from a corporate ethics viewpoint, but from a consumer, because people have consumed some product of Dabur at some point of time in life.
Absolutely.
There is a huge amount of trust which comes in with the brand. Second is already you have run so many stores, so economy of scale has come in. So you enjoy better margins in the segment than any other player in the market. So anybody who would like to now compete would not be able to do that because you enjoy better margin. Overall category also has a better margin. A lot of people these days are actually applying franchise for FMCG or a fast moving goods. But I can give you the difference because there's a huge margin difference which
Right.
comes in. Third, this business is very subscription based, especially cosmetics and personal care and things of that nature. Once you start buying, you are a monthly buyer of the same product. You come back to the same store and do that, and great loyalty program which is running in. And fourth is the flexibility of options you can create in every different market. So you can really play around the categories and understand which would move where.
Right.
So you have what I call the standard destination products, which are always there in the market. And then we call the specialty products, then we call the seasonal products, and then we call the impulse products. And these categories can move a little bit. Say in Vijayawada, there might be a different demand to versus in Chennai or something like that. So there might be a difference of opinions and market leaderships. So say Lakme would lead in some market, some brand would lead in some market, and so on and so forth. So you have that play, which is very important. Otherwise, in a mono brand, you become a very difficult, because sometimes you don't get that play and you very difficult to address that. So these are, I think, 4 strong pillars. So let me start with while you have now moved into this faster expansion and franchising, and what is the vision for the company in 2021? How many stores you want to like to see from where you are to the next level? That's my first question. And second, is there a priority markets which you would like to really begin with and say, these are no-brainer markets, we really want to pick up because Franchise India also runs in 75 cities and our consultants are available over now reach to about 150 to about 200 cities. So is there a cities which you would say they are no-brainer, 15 cities which I would like to be there because there is a strong demand already being established?
Okay. Firstly, to address how many stores are we planning going forward in 21? So we're looking at around 35 to 40 stores to come up in next 1 or 2 years. And on the strategy on tier 2, tier 3 kind of cities, you will be amazed that what we have seen, the response. Of course, demographic and consumer profile is very important. And we also do our bit when we are exploring a particular city and we are exploring a particular location. But if what we have seen, tier 2, tier 3, the ROI has been amazing. And what has been very different in our experience is the rental, the real estate cost in tier 1, like in metros and all, is significantly higher. But the business volume is not very different. Maybe there are many options available, and we are there in much more capacity, much more stores in in metros. But when we look at stores like, I think, let me take names like Vijayawada, Madurai, or Pondicherry, when we see stores of 60,000, 80,000 doing more than 20 lakhs, 24 lakhs, 30 lakhs, it becomes unbelievable kind of an ROI. So tier 2, tier 3, I mean, there's Lucknow, Kanpur, that outstanding performance these places have done. So yes, there is a list of places which we target because we see that there are a lot of queries which come from those areas. But I would still say that we would like to explore, because this is one category where women are everywhere and women would want it everywhere. So looking at the demography and how what kind of consumer profile is there, I think the list is pretty big. And though if we were to take as first level, we can share what cities we would have preferred. But being a pan-India chain, we do not have limitations on areas. We are doing very well, phenomenally well in East. We are doing well in North. We are very well present in South also. So like I said, from Pondicherry, Madurai, Vijayawada, all these stores, I mean, excellent sales. So yeah, so we're looking at all.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. And especially in smaller cities, there are multiple impacts happen. One, I think the mobility of people to the markets are much easier. They're convenient. There are 3 or 4 major centers in the city where people would go for some reason or other, and
Right.
they would like. Second, I think the online focus is lesser. People still want to come and experiment, especially with cosmetic. Women want to try it out. So if you really see cosmetic sales is always preferred by a promoter who would help you with the makeup, understanding what to use, what not to use. So it's also experiential. A lot of people want to do that. So loyalty is getting a little bit behind the scene, because a lot of women is experimenting a lot. Women is for everything, even for personal care, they're experimenting. And one day they would use another body wash, and then they would use another one next time, because they want to really experiment what fits them. And then post that, only color, I think, would be a very specific for women, because if there is L'Oreal particular color, then they would stick to that color, because that's probably they know the shade. And everything else, their very big experiments happen, especially younger women. They would like to experiment a lot on their cosmetics. So
Absolutely.
they like physical stores and really experiment that. And now that brings my second question. Give me a ballpark maths in terms of what would be your 3 or 4 criteria to approve a location, because we are doing one other retailer, very big success story we got, but location sometimes becomes very challenging, and we get all sorts of locations. We don't want to have people frustrated because they keep applying, and somebody would send their lower basement and sometimes something that thing, and we reject a lot. So what is your 4 or 5 criteria which you would say these are non-negotiable for NewU before we look at a property?
Okay. First and foremost, we always look for a market in the sense where there's a regular footfall, or the people who are actually moving in and around that place should be conducive for women to walk through, because our still major clientele is women. Also, we look at a facade, a decent facade, because if you look, our category is a very impulse category. We are not destination category. And woman, once she sees, she can always remember to buy a couple of things from our store. So if you, one of the very interesting data which I would like to share now that you asked is, our conversion rate is over 92%, which is very, very amazing in industry. But because if a woman walks in, very seldom she walk out with empty-handed. That's the most amazing part. Now, so like I was saying, facade is very important, so that there's a visibility of what we are carrying inside. We do have defined category signages inside, so if they can see it, they will buy it. Another important thing is, yes, the location should be, the ingress and the egress both should be very clean and clear. Now, one more thing is, when we reject a site, one should always actually, I think they should understand it is in their benefit. Like it's our equity which is at stake, but it is their capital which is at stake. So if we are rejecting a site, people should not take it otherwise, or should not take the brand as high-headedness, but it is more for our future relationship. That if you are associating, we would always want the association to be very fruitful. So why wouldn't somebody want to grow their business? It is only in, I think, for in favor of both the parties that we take such decisions. So they should not take it otherwise if you're rejecting a particular site.
Sure, and this is a time, particularly post this COVID, we are getting a lot of people who own their own property. They are coming.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
a very big advantage. We're seeing good property owners who have good prime locations, and they are coming in. They want to start something which is very stable business. This is very stable business. Once you establish that, your business starts from the day one, but it can't, for the first 6-7 months, it takes its own gestation cycle. People come to know your sales have continued to rise, and in say about 6 to say 9 months, you reach to your optimum level, and from a 12 months to 15 months, you reach your peak performance. And that's where you need to continue to maintain and upsell products and do this entire thing. So now my next question is, because retail is all about, the two fundamentals. One is, how do you do the stock mix, and how do you understand what is fast moving, not moving? How do you do that? That's one, because retail is all about somebody who understands how to do merchandising.
Absolutely.
And second, in your business training, because I feel that these are two important aspects. I mean, I'll give you an example. The biggest and most successful store in the world is Selfridges, and Selfridges 40% category is actually cosmetic and that thing. And the most prime location on Selfridges, on a ground floor, they've actually put there. And the detailing is all about the quality of people are there who would do your makeup and sell you maybe a $5,000 worth of cosmetic to you and things of that nature. So it's a very it's a very, when woman really tries something and she feels good about it and she goes and indulge. So how do you really address these 2 points? What is the stock part of it, and second is the training part of it?
So very good point actually. So these are actually the trade speciality what one would have in New You, because what we do is, like I said, we have over 4,500 kind of SKUs in a store, and how the assortment is planned is, when we are looking at a particular store, we put it in a particular category of our existing store where it would match the best, and we make the assortment accordingly. That okay, if this cosmetic, these kind of brands, looking at the demography and the consumer profile, these kind of brands would be the best fit. Now there is always a learning. You can never actually replicate another store because it might differ, still might differ, and preferences might differ. So what we do is we keep monitoring very closely for next 3 months. Like I said, it's an online data sharing which continuously happening. So there are analytics which keep throwing data that this category is moving, this price point is moving, this price basket is moving, this is the basket size, so many pieces are moving in a particular store, and immediately the assortment is replanned. Now, when I said it's a low risk kind of a business, is where we help them, because once, let's say, we have sent them a merchandise worth 20-25 odd lakhs. Now they say, okay, now this 15-16 lakhs of goods are moving very fast, but this 10 odd lakhs is not moving or very slow in moving. There, where we said we mitigate the entire risk, and we will completely exchange with all the products which would sell them. And this will continue to go on and on till the time. I mean, they don't have a dead stock. That's actually the point here. They will never be stuck with anything expired or dead.
Very interesting. And that's where the really value comes in. And that's experience and economy of scale come in, because they know what to do, and store to store movement can happen, something which is not moving. And relationship with OEMs is very important.
Right. And of course the brand BAs, where you said, yes, beauty advisor or a makeup artist can sell you a $500, $5,000 stuff. That's actually very true, because see, let's face the fact that all of us want to look good. I mean, anybody telling us that we're looking good is always welcome. So if somebody is selling you a product and making you look good genuinely, it's not that it's faking, they're making you look good, so why wouldn't you spend? And very surprising, the men grooming is also increasing. I mean, I have seen in my tenure from 3% to 12 odd percent is a huge jump. It's growing like anything, and so many companies are entering men grooming now. So it's all about feeling good about yourself, and that's something which is growing on and on. And very interesting, another fact I will share, like you were right when you said you generally peak in 1.5 years. But what is most surprising is that this category continues to grow. I think India is still not seeing the real exposure to this category. World over, it's much bigger. India is just exploding actually in this category.
Yeah, one of the most lowest per capita consumption.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than actually in India, and that's not going to. I mean, this is only going to go upwards, and a lot of changes would happen. While I think the consciousness of customer to really know what to use, what looks good, what feels good,
Yes.
and what is, because a lot of organic products and things of that nature is also coming through. But the overall category and sensitivity of people to look at personal care, cosmetic, home care, overall wellness products is a phenomenal category. And also there is a 80-20 to 80-20 principle which happens. 80% of product actually makes 20% of returns, and then
absolutely
the system which gives you a good return because they're high margin products and so on and so forth. And that's where the value would come in. So is there a white label or a private label strategy strong enough at this stage with NEWYOU, or you see a future, or you want to be continue to address a multi-unit kind of a framework?
So, as a matter of fact, there are already a couple of own labels, and we have a license also, which is exclusive with NEWYOU because of Dabur. We have Jacqueline USA with us, which is only exclusively with NEWYOU. NEWYOU own label is also present in stores. Among others, we have few brands. Like I said, anybody who's wanting to enter India and wants to sell through physical stores, I think NEWYOU is the biggest destination because of its presence pan-India. So we have Beauty Buffet, which is one of the leading skincare brand from Thailand. So there's beauty formulas from UK, which is again expertise kind of a brand in UK. And Dabur has also now, after seeing the success of how we have handled Jacqueline USA, they are very interested in giving us another brand, which is Botanica and Ayurveda, which we would be very shortly coming out in skincare range, which would be Ayurvedic skincare, which will be again exclusive to us. So very interesting products coming up, because like you said, the scale has come. And these are areas which we are doing very well, and we will explore, and we'll continue to bring in a lot of brands.
And I'll take one more question and then pass it on to Sonia. And in the meantime, I'll request our audience to really go out, and because a lot of questions are coming in, to make it very specific to get your site approved, or the location approved. If you can put your location where you're interested, then we are able to maybe take it on the end of the webinar. Some of the cities which we can really open up. Somebody asked for Bhopal and things like that. They're aggressive, but they're not very aggressive. They're going to go store by store. If you see, they're only 35 to 40 stores they're looking at. So very selective locations would come in, and if you have a good location, reach out fast so that we can get your profile presented and get it approved. So I'll take one question. A lot of people are coming to us and saying that, look, can we become a multi-unit partner? Multi-unit would mean that I invest 5 stores in Surat, and I kind of manage the complete Surat. So in that sense, you're able to hedge your risk. You're able to move from a store to store performance. And this was very good strategy we used for some of the retailers like Levi's and a couple of other companies. We strongly use this multi-unit strategy. And especially in a category like yours, it makes great sense because you can have an emerging market, you can have a very mature market, and you can hedge yourself. And overall, it can become a significant business for somebody. Say if somebody puts in maybe 1.5 to 2 crores and put 5 to 6 stores and really manage that, it makes a lot of sense on that. And so collective marketing, a lot of cross promotions, a lot of work can be done with the brand owners. Say brand can do a lot of multiple activations between the 5-6 stores. Are you open for that situation?
So we are actually we are open in the sense we've just gone in some similar kind of a relationship for Northeast. There's a franchisee who wants to take up master franchisee for a couple of cities in Northeast. Imphal, I think, if Jay would correct me, Imphal is the city from where he's starting.
Yeah, sir, Imphal. And he's asking for 2-3 more cities.
3 more cities. So that is how it has started to pan out, and we are exploring, and we are open. The idea is very good, and we don't see any hindsight to such an idea of people getting expertise of a city or probably couple of cities in and around and expanding in that geographies. It helps them to scale up in nearby areas because that cluster approach would always help them and us if somebody could focus in a particular cluster.
Absolutely. So, Sonia, over to you for your questions. And for one particular question, I think I missed out was around the investment breakup and things like that.
Yes. Hi. We shall take up, maybe this would be my first question, because I see a lot of our viewers talking about the breakup of the investment. I think broadly what you have captured is an investment range of 25 to 35 odd lakhs. Would you want to maybe break up that investment, because is franchise fee a part of that investment? Is working capital included? Can you give me a broader breakup of this 35 lakhs or 25?
So if I were to give you a broader breakup, so let's say capex would be around from 10 to 12 odd lakhs, and the merchandise value is between 20 to 30 odd lakhs. So that is the initial investment which one would enter into while getting the store operation.
When you said the value is 20 to 30 is the MRP price, right?
No, the buying price.
The buying price.
Yeah. Okay. So it would be their investment. So we will give their buying price.
And then
so
we have
20. See, yes, there's 2 lakh of franchisee fee which is including in the investment. And assortment is planned. What we do is when we see that, okay, somebody wants to do, if it's a 250 square foot kind of a store, you can't fit in 7-8 kind of brands into the same store. So the investment goes lower, and there are 4-5 top leading brands which will be assort in that particular store. So there, then of course, the investment comes much lower.
Right. And is there also, is there also a credit period which is offered to a franchisee post the first?
So what we do is there's a credit period in the sense every replenishment happens basis whatever payments they have made. So let's say if they made a payment of 3 lakh, another 3 lakhs worth of goods will come. So whatever they sell is what it's not that we will continue to send them goods without even something which is being sold. Like I said, we work on ARS. So whatever they have sold and probably already the money has come, they can invest, take their 20% out, and the rest of the goods would go.
And it is automatic replenishment, or this is based on the requisition made?
See, we would love to work on automatic replenishment, but Sonia, what happens is it's a very dynamic kind of, and somebody who is at the store level, like what we will have is a data of system. So we can analyze the data, but what we miss is the experience at the store. Now, what happens is the franchisee or our store managers, when they're at the store, they would realize, okay, there's so many customers who came for this product, but I had only 3 pieces. I could easily sell 10 pieces of this. So he could revise his standing order for that particular product range. So we do take customized orders also, and there's a system where there's a optimum level of stock and there's a peak level of stock, on which the system works. So that can be increased, decreased according to how the sales is happening. It's database, but a lot of feedback is also required.
Okay. And is that data intelligence passed on to the franchisee? For example, if a certain product is lying on the shelf for long and not being sold, so is that intelligence given, and is there a replacement based on this data intelligence? Or
like I mentioned, yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned, we have state-of-art POS. Each and every report is accessible to them. It is not something that will come out of the blue from our end, or it's complete transparent data. He can see what we can see. Each and every report is accessible to the franchisee, which is accessible to us. So they can absolutely go through the aging report. Let's say they say, okay, in 30 days, I could sell only one piece. Why do I keep 6 pieces? Let me keep only 2 pieces. That's good enough. Why should I work for any product over and above the inventory level of 60 days? And he would want to change it. We would change it because we have the same data. And so it's always in discussion and collaboration. Because only then we can actually estimate the right product mix.
Another question, because all retailers we're seeing going omni channel, do you see any kind of integration of in-store with the omni channel? Is that integrated any sales which are coming in that location? Because you also have sales happening from the online platform of your own website.
Right. So
integration between the two.
Right. So Sonia, see, very frankly, like I mentioned, there's an so we are also integrated with an OMS system, which is an inventory management system, which will have all our stores on a particular platform. And from there, whatever orders come can go to the store and it will have an omni-channel kind of a thing. Our tie-up with platforms is something where there's a huge fee of the platforms. It doesn't remain viable if suppose I have tied up with Myntra. If there is an order which comes from Myntra, then it is not viable for us to pay Myntra and to pay franchisee and deliver orders. But we will have omni-channel for franchisees where they could have all local orders coming to them, where they will search for any cosmetic store near them and their entire assortment will be visible to the people in and around that area. That is something going to be a big thing going forward.
Another thing, Manish, because retailers and brands are turning to promotions to bring in consumer and also clear inventory time to time, and brands are offering discounts online, competing with specialty beauty products, and also inside the stores to capture promotion-oriented consumers. One, how is this? And there are two parts to it. One is incentivization to the promoters. One, and second is how are these incentivizations or discounts to the consumers handled? Because overall discount that we saw in the presentation was to the tune of 20-odd%. So what happens at time of discount, and is also training of promoters available, and how are these also appointed is one of the questions which I saw coming from many of our viewers.
Okay, so training of promoters, like I said, where each brand trains their promoters and even the store staff can be trained. All the brands who are associated with us, they are more than happy to train the staff at the store. We do, of course, post-COVID, we are doing all virtual training, but very effectively. So the entire staffs are being trained. They know each and every category. They know the regime, what is used, what product has what USP. So, of course, they are quite up to the standards when it comes to training part. Now, the other question you asked was on the promotions, right? So on the promotions, like I mentioned, we have continuous promotions running in our stores. So there is not a single day when NewU doesn't run a promotion. So if there are 12 months, there's firstly, every month there's a cycle. So every month you have new promotions. Some can carry forward, that's a different point. But from first or second of every month to end of that month, a particular promotion cycle will run. These are shared with the stores. Franchisee doesn't bear the promotion cost. It is all borne by us, or as a matter of fact, vendors give us those promotions. So these are vendor sponsored also. Even we promote certain from our pocket. We do support those promotions. So we are competing with all online stores when it comes to pricing. So, and it could be sometimes if they are putting something on lipstick, we are running something on Kajal. This keeps happening. So they would not be having anything on Kajal. We will not be having something on lipstick for that particular period. So that could happen here and there. But you have non-stop promotion. And just to give you a brief, last 2-3 months, every weekend. So NewU build couple of properties or franchisees in sense of days. So we have Herbal Day, we have Lipstick Day, we have a weekend of big beauty weekends where we have extraordinary offers. So 2+1, 1+1, like from all top leading brands. So like I said, there's a lot of excitement which goes on in a NewU store when it comes to promotions. So, and there are a lot of blogger activities which keeps happening for stores all the time, where and we have bloggers who visit these stores and take a walk through. Like I think there's a video in the beginning. I think we can probably run in the end if we have time, and you can probably see how a blogger takes you through to through the entire store.
Great. Now, Nish, would you also want to maybe explain a little bit on the manpower structure? How is it? Because one side you will have promoters which are given by respective companies, and the other is the manpower which is required at the outlet. So typically, because it's a small outlet, 250, 350 kind of a structure. So what is the mix between these two?
So generally, the franchisee, if he's we would want them not to be an investor. Please don't look for NewU as an investment. This is a very passionately driven kind of a format. It has to be focused, and a lot of effort has to go into running a franchisee of a NewU. Let us not think that if you put in money, it is going to grow. And I will give you an example where there was a store which was run by the company. We were doing approximately 9 lakhs kind of a sales from that. A franchisee took over the store. He started clocking from the second month around 13, and he's taken it to 17, 18 lakhs. That is the kind of difference what comes in if somebody engages with the consumers and builds the repo with the consumers. So now coming back to the staff, yes, the franchisee, they should look at it as an entrepreneurship, and they need one more staff at the most. Then there are a couple of brand staff, or even if they have to hire where we have a shared kind of. So some of the geographies, let me just share. So this is something new, Sonia. What has happened is some very far-fetched locations, brands are not able to provide manpower. So what we do is we run with the brands a certain incentive scheme. Okay, there's a certain sales you do, on that a certain percentage goes as a manpower cost. So which very easily can take care of 1 or 2 staff, and they will be trained virtually on those categories. They can hire and they will be given that incentive.
And any kind of brand promoters which are put at the outlet, their salaries and their cost is borne by whom?
The companies directly. We don't bear it. The companies who are providing them, they are bearing the salaries.
And their incentives are also borne by the respective brands.
Yes.
Great. Very helpful. Nisha, I've also seen a lot of other questions. First, another question which I want to pick up is on the proximity or the radius within which the next store would not be opened. Is there a proximity or radius that we offer to a franchisee?
Actually, it will really depend on geographies. There's places we have opened across the road also. There's in Gurgaon, there's MGF Mall, City Center Mall. They're just across. I mean, you can just walk on the other side, and we've opened 2 stores. But anyhow, those are company stores. What we do is when we engage with a franchisee, we give them a cooling off period. If they have this apprehension in mind that, okay, I'm very new and I want to establish myself, we give them 6 months to 1 year of cooling off period. And we say, okay, if these are the markets, see, I can't define it because some place 1 kilometer is very big and some place it is hardly a distance.
Right.
So it is all very relative to a particular location, and we will give that comfort. See, if we are getting associated with somebody, we have to be little collaborative in the manner that they are also comfortable in running a store.
Very another while I think we've already picked up the locations, because there's some of the remarks coming from our viewers, and they've mentioned very specifically the cities they want to open, and maybe while we need to delve a little more into that, but locations like BTM layout in Bangalore is one inquiry which I see coming in. Hooghly in West Bengal, Bhopal, Asanno, Seoul, Siliguri, Nasik. These are some locations which are primarily tier 2 locations, which I'm seeing a lot of inquiries coming from.
So Siliguri, we already have a store. Bhopal, we have Siliguri, we have 2 stores of company which is running. So like I said, cities are not important. The location and the site and the store is very important. We will evaluate each and every store while but we are not restricted to what state and city they are talking. But yes, certain demographics we will definitely look before we finalize a particular location.
So this brings, sorry, you can complete.
No, Bhopal also there's a franchisee opening by this month only actually. It would be in another 10 days.
All right, because you made a very important, you highlighted that a franchisee operated store, obviously that brings a better efficiency at the store, and you already
Absolutely.
have a store which is running in Bhopal, and we have some leads coming from locations where you might be operating company-owned stores. Will you be open to transferring these stores to a franchisee at this stage?
We've not evaluated that, Sonia, but we can always look at something like that, but we do not have a model currently as such. But what has happened is somebody who's taken up a franchisee and he is very strong in a particular area, and he suggests, like, let's say somebody is in Kolkata and he suggests, I am already running a franchisee, there's a store around a kilometer away which you are operating. I would like to take that. I think we will probably be happy to do that.
Great. Very, very helpful, Manish. While we have a lot of questions, we cannot take all these questions. And my request to all our viewers would be to reach out on a hotline. There are many other cities, apart from the ones that I have mentioned, where I'm seeing the interest coming from. And if we can maybe in this coming week, Manish, if you think there can be a day or two which we can fix up and try and bring the filtered interest across to you and your teams, would that be okay in this week or the coming week, whatever date you think is feasible?
We can always actually connect the calendars, but we'll be more than happy to handle each and every query. More than happy.
So can we, from a discussion to close that, can we take a date of 20th of this month, if you are free for a few hours, where we can do some.
Today's 20th is Wednesday, no?
Friday.
So 20th is Friday.
Friday is fine. Friday, we should be good to take.
Friday, we will send you pre-qualified queries, and we'll set up we call the discovery day, where we set up one discussion. But before that, we'll share with you all the profiles, which are shortlisted profiles. And one we'll do this Friday, and then maybe next Friday again, we'll do another one. So between these 2 Fridays, we can cover most of our inquiries.
Okay, perfectly fine with us. Friday, we could do it. There's no issues. By then, I think the queries would come, we will have shortlisted them, and we can give our views as how we look at them.
Absolutely. And once you approve that, then only we will bring this queries to do. Any last comments, Manish, you have for our audience?
No, I think it's a great opportunity for everybody who thinks it's their fitment. But one thing it's not something I would really want everybody to think it's an easy business. Believe me, it is not. And it's something one has to really engage in that business, then it's very fruitful. If you want to run it with passion, there's nothing better than this. I think it's one of the best probably. But if you think it is, probably you can run on manpower and just overviewing it, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, we always say that there is an owner-operator. You have to be a good operator. If you are owner-operator, you will always succeed in business of franchise.
Yeah. So there's a blogger video right in the beginning. I think if they want to go through it, we can quickly run that video. They can see it's a walkthrough actually. Or if somebody's not seen a store physically, they will have an idea how it looks. Otherwise,
quickly do that. Archana, Dheeraj, do you have video?
Or should I run it? Should I share?
Yeah, some Manish and Jay will probably.
Okay, let me share it then. So these were the stores, and this is the walkthrough. It is visible, no? The screen. Is the screen visible?
It was.
That's visible. I think you just have to press that.
No, I know, but I'm asking, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible.
Okay. So that's it. I thought you should just
categories and
so it was probably how we merchandise, what kind of categories, what brands, and how the store actually looks from inside. So that's how it was.
Thank you so much, Manish. One last question, because I see that coming again, is from Mr. Abhi Thakur. He wants to know the term of the agreement one, and are there any renewal fee after that term expires?
So there is no renewal fee once it's been done. Like it's not something that company looks forward to earn from. It's more from investment, which is initially done. So it's the term is generally 5 to 6 years. What we do initially, and it's actually, if I think both parties agree, it is always extendable. So it's on mutual grounds that it's extendable. And yes, what we expect is after 3 to 5 years, there's a slight renovation which is required to update their store. We are into business of beauty. People should look at that as something they would probably need to do. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much
Yes.
for providing us this opportunity.
Thank you. Archana, over to you for your thank you comments. And
So thank you so much, Manisha and entire team of NEWYOU for joining in. Thank you so much, Jay, for all the
Thanks a lot.
suggestions for this particular webinar. Thank you, our panel member, for joining in today and taking this webinar ahead. And we would like to thank all your participants who have joined us today. We really appreciate the effort and time put in by each one of you. Please do connect with us at our business hotline number, which is directly monitored by management team of Franchise India, which is 97176-83838. We do invite all suggestions, feedback, and query at the same business hotline number. We'll be delighted if you connect with us at our different social handles. That's the information on your screen. The recorded version of this particular webinar and all the previously done webinars submit. They are available at the Facebook page of Franchise India Brands Limited. Go under video section and you can enjoy each and every episode we did. You can connect with management team of Franchise India at their respective LinkedIn ID. That's the information we, the entire team of Franchise India, would definitely happy to help with each and every query you have. And tomorrow, yes, we are inviting you again for big brand. White Tiger is the brand which we are presenting you tomorrow. That's the brand which is presenting the quality dry cleaning in India. And the director, Mr. Arnab Sinha, is coming and talking about their journey. The brand which was established in 2001 is tomorrow presenting each one of you the franchise model they are offering in market. So please do not miss this chance. At the same business hotline number, you'll get a registration link. Do registration today so that sharp 12 p.m. you can join us to understand the journey and financial model, franchise model they are offering in market. Thank you once again for joining in today. Have a great day ahead. Stay safe, stay happy. Thank you so much.